it's Randy. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video because I get this question a lot. A lot of people ask me, what medication do you take to control your rheumatoid arthritis? And so I just want to go ahead and jump into this video because I feel like it is a question that I just need to go ahead and kind of paint a picture for you guys with the answer that I have for it. So there is this big misconception that I only take this one medication and I don't do anything else. And just this one medication allows me to do X, Y, and Z. And I know that people see me on Instagram or on Facebook and I'm working out or I'm going to school. I'm doing just everyday things. And I guess there's just this kind of idea that since I do these everyday things, that I don't have high pain days or that I don't have pain days at all, which is definitely not true. I have high pain days. I have pain days. I have days or weeks at a time where I'm just at a low level of pain. Typically, I'm always at a low level of pain, but I guess it just kind of seems like that I don't have any pain whatsoever. So I wanted to go ahead and throw that out there that I do have pain. My RA is not completely just like set apart or completely different, but yeah, I do experience pain. So I guess just with that misconception of that I only take this drug to control my RA, but I actually do other stuff. I do work out, and I've mentioned in many videos before that working out has helped me to build up muscle to take stress off of my joints. I do eat a certain way. I do not eat a specific diet. I don't have an elimination diet. I just have a diet of moderation. So I know that pork or stuff with a lot of sodium or processed foods doesn't really do well with me, so to say. Now, I love it. I love all of those things, but my RA doesn't. So I just try to limit the amount of times I have those quote unquote bad foods. I have not cut pork or cut like processed foods completely out of my diet. I just limit the amount of times that I have them. And I also make sure I take vitamins, and I also try to make sure I'm drinking plenty of water. I wouldn't say I'm perfect at drinking water, but I just try to drink more water than I drink anything else. And the biggest thing is that I make sure to rest. I am in bed for a minimum of 9 hours every single night. I try to carve out 9 to 10 hours that I will be in bed, whether I'm completely sleeping. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I try to make sure I sleep for at least 9 hours every night, but I at least want to be in bed for 9 hours just so that I am resting and just completely just decompressing and de-stressing, because rest helps me. And I know that since I'm in school and I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I don't always have time to take naps. So making sure I'm sleeping a good bit of the night helps my RA to stay at a manageable level. So on to the drug. When people ask me, what medicine do you take? This is typically the response that I'm going to give them because I just kind of want to paint this picture. So I have been on many RA drugs throughout my journey. And I'm sure there are many people that have been on many RA drugs. And I know that when people ask me what medicine that I take, they are asking sort of from the sense of that some people do want to try that medication. And I definitely don't want to ever tell someone that this is the medicine that I take, you should try it next if your medication's not working, because we may have completely different RAs. So there are these things called cytokines. There are inflammatory ones, there are anti-inflammatory ones, but of course, if you have rheumatoid arthritis, your body's dealing with inflammation, so you have inflammatory cytokines. So these medications that are prescribed for rheumatoid arthritis, that's what I'm going to talk about specifically because that's what I know and that's what I have. These medications are designed to target different cytokines. Each medication targets a different type of cytokine. So I've been on a medication that actually targeted the TNF cytokine, and we started to realize, oh, that's not working. My RA, I was flaring uncontrollably. It was just a horrible time, and my RA just seems like it was not listening at all to what I was trying to do. And so we switched drugs that then became an IL-6 targeted. So it would target the IL-6 cytokine, and that has worked wonders for me. So I tell people that it's not necessarily the name of the drugs that you want to pay attention to what people are actually taking. You want to pay attention to what drug are you on, and the drug that you are on, what does it target? Because if you're starting to realize that, oh, my RA isn't doing too well, then maybe the drug that you're on is not targeting the cytokine that actually is high in your body and is the one that is actually triggering your RA. So what I like to tell people is the name does not matter, but when you go to your next rheumatology appointment, you want to say, okay, hey, so we've been on this drug, and you can ask your rheumatologist, what does that drug target? And then whatever your rheumatologist tells you, oh, it targets blah, 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 then all you have to say, okay, are there any other options that target different cytokines so that I can know if maybe this medicine is just, maybe that's just the cytokine that's not elevated in my body. So I need to switch medications that actually targets that specific cytokine. So yeah, so that's really what I wanted to share. The medicine that I take does not matter. My medicine works wonders for me, but it might not work wonders for you, only because of what inflammatory marker is high in my body versus what inflammatory marker is high in your body. And just like the old medication I took, it worked good for a little bit, and I'm sure that it works wonders. I have seen it work amazing things for many other people. They have been able to reach remission. They just have, like, it's been their little miracle drug, so to say. But for me, it absolutely doesn't work. So for me, knowing the name of that drug that they take doesn't really help. What helps me is just knowing what it actually targets. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to bring up, because there are different cytokines in our bodies. There's IL-1, IL-6, tumor necrosis factor. There are just different ones that can be elevated when we're dealing with an autoimmune inflammatory condition. So yeah, so if you're ever looking for a new medication, that is something that you should bring up to your rheumatologist. That's the way that you could kind of present it, just so that y'all can get on a game plan. And I know that many rheumatologists, they have an idea of, okay, this didn't work, so let me go for a different drug that targets something else. So they're already going through that process. But just actually having understanding and talking to your rheumatologist on that type of level and just getting that type of understanding will definitely help you to feel much better. And it gives you that sense of like peace of mind, just knowing that, okay, not everything's gonna work for me. Doesn't mean something's wrong with me. It just means my RA is different than the next person's, in which all of our RA is different than the next person's. And that's why there are literally many, many drugs that are out to control it. So yeah, so of course, if you have any questions, I never really give out the specific name of my drug, because I know that I don't want someone to see the name and then think, oh, and take it like a shopping cart, like it's a shopping list, and you just write the name of my drug on your little shopping list, and you go to your rheumatology or your rheumatologist appointment, and you say, this is what I want to buy, or this is what I want to try. I know it's not necessarily what I want to buy or what I want to try, but maybe the drug that I take, what it actually targets, maybe you're on a drug that targets the exact same thing. So knowing the name doesn't really matter. It's just about what it actually targets. And that's kind of the idea or the approach that I have found to be very beneficial to come from. So yeah, of course, if y'all have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them with no doubt. You can reach me on Instagram, or you can send me an email, and I promise to get back with y'all. So of course, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Bye.